Well, hello and good evening, good evening, good evening. Yep, I got a special guest tonight. I have Mr. Spags from Spags with Filter. What's up, man?
What's going on, buddy? We survived hours of jihad today.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So we left this morning about 8 o'clock, drove basically 10 hours, had traffic on the way. Finally get here, couldn't find the place we were supposed to be staying. But what a cool place, huh?
Dude, this place is awesome. If you're a hobbit, this place is for you. It's the most beautiful little hobbit place I've ever been to.
Yeah, it's pretty. I guess it's pretty nice. So we'll sleep good tonight. But sorry guys, I'm not going to have my normal Friday live. I'm not super prepared with tons of notes and all of that great stuff. But Spags and I are going to talk a little bit about. We got a few topics we want to talk about. But anything else we talk about the trip?
Man, I've never been told by another woman that I was beautiful the way I was by Angela tonight. She touched my heart in a special place.
Yes.
Thanks, Yoda.
You want to elaborate a little more on that? Or
So once upon a time in a land far away, when Tag and I were delirious from traveling across the barren, frozen wasteland of the United States during the day of national and global jihad, we put out a short video and told the world just how prepared we were for global jihad. And Angela told me that it was a good thing I got my beauty sleep, which tells me I'm a pretty girl.
no.
Road delirium is a thing.
Yeah, it was funny. Spags put out a short today that talked about hey, we've got, ammunition and we've got medicine, we've got video cameras, let the jihad begin. And then we figured out, oh shit, we probably said that wrong.
Yeah, we probably tripped every sensor with every three-level agency that there is.
Oh, it was awesome, man. Absolutely awesome. We just got here just a few minutes ago. Hey, I'm going to do some hellos here real quick. Just so I say hi to whoever made it in here real quick. Eagle Lover, good evening to you. M, sure, Eiffel, 97. Hope I said that right. Hey, Silver Linings in the house. Sam Russell, Kelly, Ireland. Dave and Sonia in Michigan. What's up, bud? The famous LJC is in the house. Chuck Peoples is in the house. What's up, bud? I'll see you tomorrow. He wants to know why you haven't stopped by to see him.
You're not as pretty as me, apparently.
Drumson Live, what's up? Midwest Ribeye, what's up? And Bob Lester, what's up? Hey, before we get going, real quick, I want to say a couple things. First of all, there's some people at my house right now who agreed to come over to my farm and help handle all the chores and manage the farm and all that stuff while I'm gone. And that's, a selfless thing. And I just wanted to reach out and tell you thank you very much. I'm not going to say who it is. We'll leave that to them, but I just wanted to tell you thank you very much. And then also to my wife, hey, babe, I love you. I'll see you soon. I love you without measures, and it won't be long. And then finally, I also want to say there's a beautiful little creature watching this video tonight who I love with everything I have in me, and I miss you tons. And this little person gave me a doll to take with me, and we took it with us everywhere we have. And I think about you every minute, and I'll be back to see you shortly. You want to say anything? You got anybody watching?
I have no idea if they're watching. My wife and kids are busy with school things and homestead things, but Jenny and the kids, if you're watching, I survived the jihad.
We survived the jihad.
I
Oh my
saw that
goodness.
also Eric from Porterhouse and Teal's in the
Yeah.
house.
Hey, Charles Scarborough. Good evening, big kid. Good evening,
Charles.
Eric from Porterhouse and Teal. That guy's such a stud. Good evening. Barb's in the house. Grateful Hearts. Gypsy, what's up, my friend? Kelly Ireland already said that. The greatest name on the internet. You know what that is?
The greatest name on the internet?
Yeah. You're supposed
No.
to say half bubble, half plum.
What? Say what?
Say half bubble, half plum.
Half bubble, left plum.
That is in the house. I think Tringo's in the house. Good evening. Yeah, I think I got them all.
Yep.
If I missed somebody, I'm sorry. But anyway, so what a disappointing apocalypse.
Dude, worse. I thought what happened in 2020 was a shitty apocalypse. This was worse. At least 2020 had some footnotes that kept things interesting for a few minutes.
Yeah, totally disappointing.
Nothing rained from the sky. Nothing
No.
happened.
Nothing was in the news.
No one yelled Allah Akbar anywhere along I-70.
We were watching the news the whole way up, because they called for the, global day of jihad today. And I don't know, what you guys think about it, but I would think if I was the leader of Hamas who called for that, I'd be pretty embarrassed right now.
I would be absolutely embarrassed, especially considering how rich he is and how much position of influence he thinks he has.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Mm.
Completely ridiculous. Why do you suppose that was?
one of two options, and it could be either one. One, they're just not as cool as they think they are. That's potential. But I think what's probably more likely is anytime a warning goes out on social media a week beforehand, it's generally smoke and mirrors, so you don't see what's happening over here.
Yeah. Yeah, but why in the world? I mean, Hamas had to know they were going to get their asses kicked.
Yeah,
I mean, tell me how this makes sense.
it only makes sense if there's an extended plan. In fact, Israel's Knesset is even saying that Israel needs to settle in for what could potentially be a very long conflict, meaning it goes past Hamas.
Yeah, because that Gaza's a small place, a lot of people,
It's
but
not. It's not even Rhode Island. It's not even Hoboken, New
yeah,
Jersey. I mean, it's tiny. Yeah.
yeah. Hey, Sharon, good evening to you. Alan P, what's up? Eagle lovers been canning meat. Yeah, pretty cool. Yeah, I don't understand what's going on. It didn't make any sense, but if I was a leader, a whole bunch of troops, and we said we were going to charge the hill on Monday, and I'm the only one that showed up, I'd look like a fool.
Yeah. I don't think Hamas is the leader. I think Hamas is a pawn.
Mm.
I think they're a pawn of bigger players, and it could be a whole number of players who that might be. It could be Iran. It could even be Mossad. It could be
Yeah,
MI6. We don't know. Nothing that you read or see can be believed. So
yeah,
I think it's all smoke and mirrors for the final act, which is coming.
yeah. And what do you think that is?
I personally think that we're going to see the consolidation of the power of the West and the consolidation of the power in the East, and we're going to see a forefront war. We're going to see the European theater, as I'll call it, so I don't demonetize my buddy here. We're going to have the Middle Eastern theater. We are going to have the South China Sea theater, and we are going to have the Korean Peninsula theater. And those are the four insulating things that will test the entire belt that the military industrial complex has spent the last 85 years building.
Is that why you're wearing your chest rig?
I'm wearing a chest rig because I'm serious. And because we're at SRF. We're coming to SRF, and this is my John Willis rig. And the micro rig is the last rig you'll ever need. Ask Sam, who was in the comments. He does a lot of stuff with John Willis's products.
Cheryl Seller, good evening to you. Yeah, so let's talk about SRF. So tomorrow we're going to start the SRF process. I don't speak till Sunday, and I have been blessed to be the opening act for Joe Salatin. Apparently, right?
Yep.
So
Right
I'm
before Joe.
yep. So I'm going to speak right before him on Sunday. The rest of the time, I'm going to be lollygagging. What are you going to do?
I am going to be wearing three hats. I'm going to be talking to folks about EMP Shield. I'm going to be talking to folks about Grid Down, and I'm going to be talking to folks about Midwest Preparedness Project.
Yeah, we actually got a fourth hat right in there. Aren't you also going to be emceeing a lot? As you?
Yes, Nicole is going to beat me like a redheaded stepchild. I'll be up on the stage doing the same thing for her that I do for Midwest Preparedness. And I'm happy to do it because she was so gracious to come down and visit
Yeah,
our event. So I will
yeah,
work for her as hard as she'd like me to.
yeah. Charles says, let me pop this up here. Charles says, I wonder what all of those military age single men associated with Hamas that came across the border a while back think of all of this.
Charles, I'm disappointed. That's quite the tinfoil hat. That would never happen. Our government loves us and would absolutely do everything to keep us safe, snug, and
See, that's how
secure.
you keep monetized.
Yep.
That's right there.
I am helping him make 5 cents tonight.
Thank you. Except you're overestimating.
3.5.
No, it'll be 0.005 cents.
I am here for the 0.005 cents.
It'll be 1 penny by the time this live is over.
Capitalist.
Dude, I'm telling you, right? I save up long and hard. I'll be able to get a strap for my camera.
That's true.
It'd be badass.
It looks like geek strap. For your glasses, but cooler.
Yeah, so talk about Midwest Preparedness Project. We just finished that up.
I am beat. I have had a long week.
Mhm.
But shout out to the entire crew that helped put it together. We had an amazing crew this time around. We extended the crew. We had the normal cast of characters, myself and Patrick, but we also had Charles, who's in the chat tonight. We had Chief, we had Christy. We picked up new folks with Todd, who helped with the audio again. We had Kyle Chrisman built not only a stage, but he built the Taj Mahal of stages. We had Daniel from Holton Direct here, who was our medical
He's a
triage.
beast. Well, what a great guy that guy is.
He is amazing. He put together a medical triage tent. So if something had gone wrong with somebody cutting themselves while filleting a fish, Daniel was there to take care of it. And he gave us a great presentation about what's in your medical closet. And then we also had Michael Stouts from Paratus Radio. He was there on our comms. And I don't think I've left anybody out, but I am so
Tim the Toolman.
Well, Tim was there as a speaker,
Hmm.
and Nicole Sauce was there as a speaker,
Chief
and Chuck
security.
People was there as a speaker, and Dan and Michael were all speakers. Then, of course, you led with the Freedom Panel, where you had all the speakers sit up
Yep.
with you on a stage and tell everybody about the world.
Yeah. And I've got a video of that panel. I've already got it filmed and ready. I just got to hit go and it will go.
Yep.
Whenever we get there. But also don't forget about Chief and security. We all were safe.
Yep, I mentioned Chief.
Oh, did you?
Yep. Oh, yeah. We averted crisis again. When you get this many people together, even within our communities, and not everybody knows each other, it's very easy to misinterpret things. It's very easy to see things for something more than they are. And having the peace of mind that Chief was there to make sure that nothing stupid happened made it so much easier to do our jobs.
Yeah. Hey, Banquet of Consequences. Good evening to you as well. Yeah, I had a good time there. It's different for me now. I don't play the role that I once did in it. So I get to chill a lot more, which is really actually kind of pretty nice.
Yeah.
Met some good friends. We met that Nomad guy. I forget what's the name of the channel.
Oh gosh, I just started following him actually.
Yeah.
He was parked right off
Mhm.
the stage, and he had like the tent camp coming off the
Yeah.
truck. Oh
Yeah.
man, yeah.
I
Um,
loved his story.
yeah, I watched a lot of his videos after meeting him.
Yeah.
Him and Sam were the two guys I kind of went. I
Yeah.
didn't know that their channels existed, and him and Sam,
Yeah.
I went and followed them, and I'm watching their stuff like kind of rapid succession to kind of
Yeah.
build up my knowledge base
Now
on it.
Sam's going to be out at the SRF tomorrow, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
and we're gonna make sure Sam gets to meet some cool people.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, that's super, super cool. And Eric from Porterhouse, he's not going, correct?
Right, he's gonna be at Kentucky
Okay.
Sustainable Living in 2 weekends.
All right, cool. Well, hey, Porterhouse, Eric, I wanted to tell you, man, it's just not the same here without you.
There's a hot tub at this VRBO.
Yeah, Bobby will be in it alone. I don't want to be feeling no footsies out there in the hot tub. 'Cause,
No, no, no. Angela told you I'm pretty. You have to sample the goods.
Yeah, it has been quite a drive. I'm tired, but I'm excited to get going tomorrow. I get to speak about community, which is something that I'm passionate about, which is pretty cool. But so I'm excited to get going. Are
Yeah,
you?
I agree. The traveling will wear you out. The in between wears you out, but once you're there and you get around these folks, it makes every bit of it worth it.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, look at that.
Oh,
Oh, we miss you too.
I don't know.
Right.
Is that too millennial?
Yeah, I
We're
don't
way
know.
too Gen X for this, aren't we? I love you too, brother.
Yep. Dang it, you changed the times on me. Yeah, guys, we were guessing on the time because it was funny. I was racing the clock the whole time. The GPS kept telling me that I was going to be here at 6:22, and then I got that number all the way down to 6:02, and then we had to stop.
Point of order. He drove the speed limit the whole way.
Yeah, did you hear that, B? So you don't have to worry about it. I only drive the speed limit.
I was like, dude, it's 65. Why are you going 65?
Mm. Oh, what did I say? Because I don't remember.
I am a law-abiding citizen because my government is here to take care of me.
That's right. They're here from the government. They're here to help.
Right. If they didn't want me to go 65 for
Mhm.
my safety, I would not be going 65 for my safety.
Yeah. Hey, have you guys? I don't know if any of you guys have ever been to Cairo, Illinois. That's a weird town.
It is a weird town. It's historic. It's where the Ohio and the Mississippi meet at the at the very southern tip of Illinois. Very historic town. I got a lot of video of it.
Oh, interesting. Alan P says Mark Levin dropped a bombshell tonight that some guy named Robert Malley, who works directly with the Blinken idiot, is super cozy and has a long history with Iran. 3 of his staffers are compromised too.
Nothing surprises me anymore.
Yeah, yeah. Silver Lining says he drives like a grandpa. Well, to understand, this comes from a lady who, when there's a stop sign, waits to the middle of the road to stop, so she's blocking all 4 directions. So,
Behind the stop
yeah,
sign, four-wheel
yeah,
complete stop.
yeah. Farm Ranch Homestead says very depressing town, very run down. Yeah, that place is really depressed. I mean, you drive. It's weird. There's like these super nice churches, and then the very next building's collapsed in on itself.
Right. It's like I don't know if there was ever such a thing as seeing what gentrification
Mhm.
looks like. It's that town.
Yeah, Jules says, "Good gracious, tag 65. I couldn't get my truck below 88." Hey, Mary Michelle. Good evening to you. Yeah. So Drummondson Live says a lot of used concrete for sale cheap around Gaza very soon. I'd say it's there now, right?
Yeah,
Because
but
they're bombing the shit out of them,
but
right?
it's going to have depleted uranium and white phosphorus. You don't want that shit.
Maybe good backfill.
Depleted uranium? Tag's tomatoes used to be this big. Now they're this big.
Well,
Ask me how I know.
except they're banana shaped.
Right.
Right. Hey, City Greens, good evening to you. ACM Homestead, good evening to you. I know, guys, this live was a little unannounced, but I just didn't know whether we'd have internet. We wouldn't have internet. I just didn't have any idea when we got here. So it is what it is, right?
Yep. We're hot spotting off my cell phone.
Yes. But Bobby made me a drink. By the way, what'd you make me? Jim Beam
and Coke.
Jim and Coke.
Jim and Coke. It's a soldier's go-to, and you and I are former soldiers. So
yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So wait, here we go. What's this one say? Mally is involved in trying to broker peace. Conflict of interest much? Yeah. Dude, what you tell me what part of our government isn't a conflict of interest?
I would rather see Dennis Rodman go to North Korea to broker peace than that guy.
Probably get further, actually. Didn't North Korea threaten to sink a carrier
Yes.
today or something?
We've driven 2 carriers into the vicinity of Israel, and now 1 into the vicinity of South Korea. And North Korea threatened the one in the
Yeah. Faith, by the way, I think I'm very close to you. Based upon your message on freesteading, the problem is I got it right as we went live. But I think where you're staying and where we're staying is very, very close. I think.
Could be.
Yeah. Alan P said exactly. Yeah, there's more conflict of interest. It's ridiculous. Just the whole thing. And for me, what's so crazy about it is it just doesn't make any sense. Like it's not logical.
I think it's only not logical because we're not evil MFers. I think
Right.
if we were evil, we would absolutely understand everything that was going on. But because we're normal dudes, we might not be the straight good guys. We might not be the heroes, but we're certainly not the villains. And I think you have to be a hero or a villain to understand what's happening.
Yeah, look at Faith's answer. Well, I think we've answered that question.
Well, when your drill sergeants yell at you and they call you 8 up, they always did this in front of formation. You're 8 up, private,
Yeah. They ever tell you were 12 up and 4 down? Because that's what I got all the time.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I got that one too.
Did you?
I have PTSD. Why are you doing this to me?
Yeah, because it's good for you. I mean, you're the one that's walking around Tennessee with a chest rig on.
It's a John Willis micro rig, not just a chest rig. This one's actually autographed by John Willis right here, by the way.
Mm-hmm. I think there is some kind of bromance going on here.
Dude, John Willis is one of my anti-heroes.
Anti-heroes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Heroes I don't like heroes, and I don't like villains, right? The villains are just evil. The heroes don't exist because there's no such thing as a truly righteous man. But the anti-hero is the guy who does the right thing because he has to, not because he's noble. King Arthur, Superman, that doesn't exist. Batman exists. He's just an angry asshole with a tool belt full of cool stuff, and he's fed up with bad guys. The anti-hero is a realistic thing.
Jules is saying, from what I'm hearing, this went down to stop the normalization talks between Israel and Saudi Arabia. Yeah, that's partially true, but here's the thing: is that Hamas had to know that when they did this, Israel was going to kick their ass.
Yeah.
And so, did someone just use them as a puppet?
Probably.
Because they're going to get hammered, guys.
They're going to get destroyed.
Israel's not going to. I don't think Israel's going to stop this time. I think they're going to own all of Gaza. And then I think they're going to go north.
Yep.
Right? They're going to own all of that. I mean, and so then even back to the east to the Golan Heights.
Yes.
I think they're going to do that as well. And so pretty quick, you've got the whole Muslim world.
Yep.
Being pissed off.
Except for UAE and Yemen, somehow they're going to side with Israel. If that's not corporatism at work, I don't know what is.
Yeah, I don't know how we stop all of this. I think we're headed crash course to major war.
I don't think we stop it.
I don't know how.
Honestly, I think it's a fool's errand to stop it. If we had stopped at other points, pivotal points in history, and not done the dirty work to get to a more peaceful world, we would probably be in a lot worse off place than we are now.
Banquet says you're ate up like a soup sandwich.
Fair. That one I know. Yeah, I got you. Let's hang out. We can be best friends.
You probably would be. You probably would be. Hey, Loco, what's up, bud? How are you? Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. And I think, it's interesting, at my own home, the way that this is, panning out for us personally is, we get to take a look at, where we are and what we're doing. And, are we in the right position and have we done enough and, and those kind of things. But it's kind of spooky, to think about the whole war doing that. And I worry about my kids, they're all, 20s and early 30s age men.
Yeah.
And, I worry about how that all pans out too. RN, good evening to you as well. Yeah, Faith says, I can hear you laugh out loud. So you're like super, super close.
Well, you remember the signs when we came in, it was like Cabins 1, 17, and 43 this way. Cabins 5, 23, and 104 this way. I was like, wow, this is the most ADHD numbering system I've ever seen.
Yeah. Yeah, it took us a minute because we were a little tired, but yeah. Yeah. So Faith says she's next door.
Yep.
I know this. Villains equal the government. Yeah.
Governor from Walking Dead. The governor.
Oh, is that what she's? Oh, is that what?
That's how I would interpret that. Villains
Okay.
equals the governor meant because the governor from Walking Dead creates his own government and it
Oh,
ends up just being completely corrupt.
yeah. Hey, Hilltop Home Place, how are you? Glad you're here. Yeah, I don't know what we all do about this other than just keep your head on a swivel and pay attention to what's going on around us. I mean, you got any advice to everybody? I mean, what they should be doing right now in all this crazy times? Because the fact of the matter, we're living in a shit sandwich.
We are. We are.
Fact, right?
Yes. It's unavoidable. You're not going to vote your way out of this. Stop worrying about the national scene. Worry about your local community and take a few steps to protect yourself because if all the rumors that we've heard with BlackRock and Vanguard
Mhm.
behind the scenes for everything happening, they're scooping up lots of properties. So if things go bad, the one thing that most people are ignoring and the one thing that most people say, well, I won't need that, have the title to your home, the title to your cars, your social security cards, birth certificates, all the legal stuff in a waterproof sack and take it with you. Because nothing will become so bad where you won't someday have to prove in court what was yours.
Mhm. Yeah, that's really, really good advice. Anything else I should be doing?
Stocking up on medications.
Mhm.
If you have the supply issues right now coming out of the Panama Canal are going to impact many things. And if we are about to hit global war again, the supply chain will get even worse. So, medications, fuel, food.
This is a good comment. Oh, sorry, that's a good comment too, but I was trying to poke this one right there. Also, remember when a currency under empire fails, they take you to war to deflect from their failures.
Correct.
Yeah, and I think it's because the world's collapsing. I mean, you guys think about this. I mean, anybody think the economy's going great?
Joe Biden does.
Yeah. What about the executive branch of the government?
Do we have that anymore?
What about the judicial branch of the government?
Mm-hmm. No.
What about the legislative branch of the government? What about our public education system? What about our food system? Is anything going good?
I thought you were bringing a message of hope. This is depressing AF.
I keep asking you for the message of hope. You keep shaking your head.
Tag brings a point here, though. All the things that seem negative, and him and I talk about this often, is this is the most opportune time of your life.
Mm-hmm.
There is more hope right now and more opportunity for self improvement and self empowerment right now. Chaos breeds order. So,
And it also breeds transference of wealth.
it does. So, take advantage of it.
If you're ready for it.
Find your niche. Oh, yeah. The greatest way to bring in CBDC is to eliminate 15% of the population through World War III over the next 5 years.
Yeah.
People will beg for it. But if you find your niche, if you find the way to get your side hustle in, if you will, you can beat CBDC.
Yeah. Let me see if I can pronounce this one right. Maccabeus, Everyday Survival. What's up? How are you? Yeah, Big Kid says keep your eyes on a swivel and powder dry. Yep.
Keep powder dry.
Yep. Alan says corrupt through and through. Boy, I could not disagree at all. See here, remember if you are on any antidepressants, keep 60 to 90 days minimum on hand. It'll give you time to ease off because stopping immediately is a very bad thing. But I would, and I don't want to be insensitive when I say what I'm going to say, but I would really work hard to get off that stuff. Because it's just like, the transformation from a prepper to a homesteader. You come to a realization at some point where you can only store so much beans.
Correct.
And I think this is true for a lot of these kinds of things. If you can find a way to live without them, if you can find a way to get off them, I think it's better for everybody.
Yep, that's one thing I'm looking forward to talking with the Holton Direct Care guys. I've weaned myself off of the Flexerol and the naproxen that the VA has had me on for years, but I'm still on omeprazole and citrazine. And he was like, dude, that shit's going to kill you and that shit's going to kill you. Come talk to me and we're going to talk about some ways to wean you off of those and onto other things which won't kill you. So if you can find alternatives to the medications you're on, now's the time to do it.
Yeah. Jules wanted to know how fuel prices work.
Ironically, we passed a place where gas was like $3.04, and I'm like, I've been lied to in Kansas. This is bullshit. We saw diesel under $4 at one place.
Isn't it amazing how the one, the only, the famous, right? Spags himself has been programmed to believe that $3.10 gas is good.
I did not say that.
You did say that. You said, "Oh my God!"
No, I said that. Why is it 3.48 in Kansas?
Program.
I'm a pretty girl. My pronouns are.
Big Kid says, "Yes, things are going good for." Oh, why did I lose that? There we go. Yep, things are going good for those of us who left the system. Let me see here. Oh, definitely. But docs tend to downplay everything. Do they? Because I would kind of think they overplay most, in my opinion, right? Like they want to create a customer.
Sure.
If they downplayed things, wouldn't that hurt their customer base?
It
Explain to
would.
me how that works. Maybe I just don't understand.
Well, I think what she might be alluding to is that they downplay the correct way to handle things, and they upplay the way for them to make buttloads of money while you stay sick.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what she means.
Yeah. You see, we've got Eagle Lover says herbal medicine and homeopathy.
Mm.
Yep. Jules says, you see, I've been working for over a year on stockpiling extra meds while also working on getting off what I'm still taking. Yep. Eagle Lover says gas is $2.95 where she's at. Well, you'd love that, wouldn't you?
I would like it to go back where I was when I first started driving when gas was like 67 cents a gallon.
Gypsy says $2.95 at the casino. That's my house.
Well, they don't pay the taxes that the white man does. Privilege.
Yeah. Kelly just got diesel for $4.09. You know what the good news is? These prices are coming down, but we have no strategic reserves, so we can't defend ourselves. But good gig, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah, let me see. Faith says, I mean more downplay drug side effects, etc.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
Oh my goodness, look at that. Alan says photos of Sam's at 279 in Kansas are circulating.
I do go to Sam's Club now for a lot of my gas.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Oh, what a great deal at 279. Not.
Yeah. It's a good deal if you like only having that much shoved up your butt instead of that much shoved up your butt.
You know, I kind of think that what they do is they purposely raise it up to a breaking point level to drop it down 30 cents
to make you
to make you feel like you got a good deal.
Yeah, they make you thankful for being fisted, you know. Yeah.
I went in with B once to a JC Penney's and they had a mirror for sale. And it was like 159 bucks. And I'm like, I really like that mirror. It had a big X on it.
Yeah.
I don't know, I liked it. And or something like that. Anyway, we walked away, we didn't buy it. And then a couple weeks later, we were back in there buying jeans or whatever it was, and that exact same mirror was $2.99 on sale for $179.
And you're like, wait a minute, where's the markup? There
I'm
still
like,
has to be a markup.
Wait a second, it was just $159 2 weeks ago. Now it's $179 on sale.
On sale.
Yeah, ridiculous. Oh my goodness, look at that one. $5.99 at the cheapest station in town. Porterhouse, how do we get you to move to Kansas?
Yeah.
Because dude, you'd be a horse out where we live.
Yeah.
We already are, but you'd be one in our neighborhood. Which one?
Mandy's comment 3.
Oh, there we go. Hey, Mandy. We are in Camden, Tennessee for the Self-Reliance Festival. Yep.
See you tomorrow.
Yep. And we finally made it here ourselves. Yep. Jules said gas dropped 10 cents.
Yeah, this is the calm before the storm.
Alan says, dude, I just filled my bug out fuel cans at around 380. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Well, you know what though? I'd rather have the fuel. Right. This is a good time. Hey, I'm speaking directly to my beautiful bride right here. This is a good time to fill some extra tanks that I've been harping on you about. Tell her.
Tell her
do what she's told.
You're lovely.
He's got no courage.
B, do what you're told. Your man hath spoken.
Oh my goodness, look at this. Oop. Sue, how are you? Good evening.
Wow.
Mary says 509 in Washington State.
Yeah, those West Coast states.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know how anyone can be on the West Coast right now. It's just insane.
I think that you should, at the very least, you should be east of the Rocky Mountains and west of the Appalachians.
100% agree.
And then you should be north of the Mexican border some distance.
I would say be north of Texas. You want standoff distance.
Yeah, you want some standoff distance, but that square in there. Now I would take it further, and I would go to the other side of the Mississippi, the other side of the Missouri.
Well, sure,
right.
Sure.
I mean, I would actually tell you that the best places to homestead and to bug out ever in our entire country are Kansas and Nebraska.
Kansas and Nebraska.
But, I'm a little maybe shaded because that's where I live.
I grew up in the Air Force, man. I lived in Arizona, Louisiana, New Jersey. I was born in North Dakota, lived in South Dakota, and in Germany. I've lived all over, so I'm not necessarily brand loyal, but Kansas, I won't leave it.
Read that statement. That's funny.
Tag, ever notice when the price goes up at the pump? When the price goes up, the pump slows down, adding aggregate. You're not wrong, because you always are in a hurry, and you pull up to that one effing pump, and you pull, and it's like clink, clink, and you're like, but I have somewhere to be. I've got to pick up a can of beans for chili tonight. My wife is waiting on me. Clink,
Yeah.
clink. Oh no, I know it. I know it. I've been at that pump.
Yeah. Big Kid is a fellow off-grider.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, hey, look at this. The badass couple themselves, Life with Mike and Jen are in the house. Said Tim's talk was fantastic. Yeah, I got to hang out a bunch with Mike and Jen, and actually, Mike's a madman. We actually nicknamed him Mario because he drives like Mario Andretti, and he was a plumber by trade, so it just kind of worked.
Makes sense.
Yeah, right, kind of worked. But he's got this race car, and it's a race car. It's a UTV, but it ain't like you guys see my farm UTV I putz around in. This thing's badass. We're driving down the road. I got to tell this story. Michael laughed. I thought it was funny. So I'm driving down the road in this thing. This thing will do 90.
Yeah.
And so Mike tells me, Mario says, "Hey, let's go for this. Take a drive." I'm like, "All right, cool." It's got no windshield. Okay. I'm driving down a dirt road and I'm going pretty good. I'm going 45,
Yeah.
on a dirt road.
Reasonable.
And the dude reaches across my lap, pushes my knee, and floors the gas pedal and says, "Oh, don't worry, it won't wreck. It'll go wherever you steer."
Ask when the wedding was.
We're going so fast, and there's no windshield. I got the wind blowing in my eyes. I'm crying. My eyes are watering.
Oh,
He's got these sealed glasses on the other side, looking at me like,
were you getting like the cake dust, and so your tears were creating the Nile River down both sides of your face?
Yeah, and he's got this beautiful set of glasses that blocks it all,
Yeah.
And he's like, "I don't see what the problem is, you big Sally."
I bet you don't.
Yeah. But it was fun. We had a great time, and later on, some of the neighborhood kids got to drive it.
Yeah.
And they were like in heaven. Like
yeah.
This thing was an absolute beast. But we had a lot of fun, and I hope to get to hang out with them some more. Sometimes real soon. Let me see here. Banquet of Consequences says, "I have said that I will never live east of the Mississippi River."
That's
Yeah, I think
fair.
what it's really about, Banquet, is trying to put as many natural barriers, to that natural line of drift between you and the East Coast and the West Coast. We just drove through a lot of the some of the Appalachian Mountains here. Dude, it would be hard to get through these.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it would get hard. It would take a lot to get through these, and then you add rivers and you add these things. It just makes it,
Yep.
a little easier.
Well, we talked about that a little bit. How if there was ever a physical invasion of the United States, an East Coast invasion would likely fall very flat, just because the minute you start hitting the Appalachian Mountain Trail, you are into stuff that would make what's happening in Europe look easy.
Man,
Yeah.
what's that one vine?
Oh, that creeper vine. Indiana Mike knows the actual name of it. Whatever that stuff is, it's everywhere.
Man, I don't know how you get through that.
I don't think you do.
And then there is oh shoot, I gotta plug that.
Yeah, plug your computer in.
Hold on, keep talking.
Time out, folks. We are experiencing a technical difficulty.
Well, it's just gonna die.
Yeah, well, we won't. The computer will. But speaking of which, how did you all enjoy the day of jihad? How did you spend your day? Give us some comments about what you did to survive the worst day that Hamas wanted to give us.
Where is the plug-in at? It goes.
I lived in Alexandria, Louisiana when my dad was in the Air Force at England Air Force Base, and the bayou is crazy. Let's see who Scanes is still saying hi to everybody. Hi, Scanes, by the way. It was good to see you again at the Midwest Preparedness Festival.
That.
All right. Power has been restored. Oh, there you go. Kudzu is the vine. Yeah, it looks like there's a 5-pointed leaf, and it takes dead trees and rounds them out. Like, when you were a kid and you looked at clouds and you would find the shapes in the clouds, you could absolutely look at these vines growing up, these trees, and you could tell how in the moonlight it would look creepy. Like you could see just weird shapes.
Yeah. Yeah, kudzu. Yeah, same thing.
Yeah, kudzu. That might be what you said it was.
There you go.
My daughter bartered her sword for some of the noise-canceling headphones, an apocalyptic style book, and a Trump hat. I saw that sword. I saw that from the stage. I'm like, that girl has a sword. And I think I even pronounced the W. It's a sword. It was so cool.
Yeah. I don't even know where that. I wanted to say hello to Goatman who jumped in there. I seen if I missed somebody. Sue says I harvest and process tomatoes and green beans today.
Good job.
Yeah, good job.
Well done.
Yeah, Eagle Lover says, with the jihad in mind, the local air show is this weekend, so military jets dusting my roof all day. It'd be comforting.
The timing of that is great.
Yeah. Let me see here. Nice house. Is that yours, Spags?
You know, I'd like to say it was. Let's just leave it at that because it makes me look cooler than I really am. No, this is a VRBO that
Yeah.
Tag and I got to stay down here for the weekend, and
Yeah.
it's a tiny cabin, but whoever remodeled this place, it is
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, one of B and I's goals is we're going to build a couple of these for our farm so that when the preparedness project comes or some of these other things that there's places that people can stay at out on a functioning homestead and of course I'll make it all off grid and all of those kind of things. But I'm going to take a lot of measurements and a lot of pictures because this one's really nice. They did a great job of using the space. It's a very small cabin, but we have our own rooms, thank God, because it's really kind of weird,
Yeah,
Um,
that's way too much facial hair in one bed.
yeah.
We would be smitten.
Big Kid says loaded and moved 4x6 bales of hay, 3 bales at a time, and got them under cover. Winter feed for the Dexters.
Good job.
Here we go. Let's see. BFKC says hello from the Self Reliance Festival campsite. Can't wait to meet tomorrow. Yeah, come up and say
Rock
hello.
on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
does KC mean you're from Kansas?
Ooh, could be Missouri.
Well, either way, that's our neck of the woods.
That's our neck of the woods. That's
Yeah.
our backyard.
Yeah, that would certainly be mag level, for sure, right?
We got to get them out to the Midwest Preparedness Project.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to talk a lot on Sunday about the structure of a community and how it's not the singular thing, and a lot of people think it is, but I'm telling you, after all my years of doing this, I've learned that it's not you and 5 people who jump in Susie's off-road Jeep with a year's worth of food and 1,000 rounds of ammunition and head off to Bobby's house to survive the zombie apocalypse.
Right.
It takes layers of community. Now that group is true.
Yep.
But it's dependent upon other layers of community.
How do you describe it? Concentric rings?
Yeah, concentric ring. And I actually go through the whole thing. It's the clan, the crew, the mag, the mind. That's how I name them, but it doesn't matter. The point is, there's a lot of circles that make up a community. We rely on those other community members. Bobby and I are part of, in a small ring sense, a different community, but we are part of the exact same larger ring community.
Yes.
Does that make sense? I said it right?
Yep.
Do you agree with that?
I would say that you and your folks and me and my folks would be in a mag.
Yes.
Because we're on either sides of one natural barrier. And we would, if your people had to come one way and mine had to go the other way, we'd have places where we can be safe and rely on each other.
Oh, yeah. So BFKC says on the Missouri side, but we'll talk to you about connecting. Yeah, make sure you come find me. For sure, one of us,
One of the cool things about Midwest Preparedness is over the last year, we have gained a large consortium of Missouri sponsors. And so there's now a lot of folks on that side of the state line that absolutely are now part of us, and that could benefit you.
Yeah.
Potpourri of Life's in the house.
Oh, hey, Potpourri of Life. Good evening to you. Jules said I've watched that series 3 times.
Yep. Jonathan.
Yeah. Oh, hey, what's up, Jonathan? I'm assuming you made it home safe and got completely unpacked and you're all rested and roaring and ready to come back.
Jonathan opened up with me at this last Midwest Preparedness Project. Him and Caleb and I had a fantastic conversation. And I was tired and I was probably mouthing off a little more than I should have at that point because I had a little whiskey in me. But man, the three of us were sitting around debating concepts of the Torah and divine inspiration and stuff. And it was a fantastic conversation.
Yeah, Jonathan's a sneaky smart guy.
Dude, he's quiet all the time and he stands there. But when he says something, you kind of tend to listen because there's something behind it.
Yeah, he's a smart guy. He's been a great addition, and we make fun of him a lot because he does dishes and shit. We call him Maytag, and we just have fun. But he's a great guy.
Wow.
Who works really, really hard.
Rain Country.
Oh, hey, Rain Country's in the house. Heidi, haven't seen you in a while. What's going on? There is a fabulous channel right there, guys. For any of you guys that don't know, if you like any of that homemade everything, that's the channel for you right there.
Great couple, great family. Yeah, I've had some of my best conversations early on with the freestanding thing with her, and man, I love them. Yeah,
B watches every single video.
Yep, they're a great video.
That's one of her absolute regulars. It goes on. Let me see here. Wow, sometimes I feel so out of place here in South Central Virginia, and all y'all in the Midwest.
This is why we're creating the Great American Preparedness Tour, and hopefully eventually some of these new shows that we'll add at some point potentially will branch out your way and give you something to do there.
Yeah, and I would also tell you, don't feel like when I say I wouldn't want to be on the East Coast, that's just my decision.
Right.
That doesn't mean that I'm right. It just means how I go through, the process. So big kid, you hang in there, I didn't mean it like that at all.
No,
Uh,
we all show favoritism to the place we find ourselves.
um, good evening, Tag. I'd rather offer my life to the community, trying to figure out how to when I listen to the live feeds. It gives me hope for America. Guys, there's plenty of hope. Bob,
Nothing but hope.
yeah, Bobby was talking about this earlier. There is tons of hope. We get to rewrite it. We get to live through the history. Now there'll be some downsides of this,
Some of
but
us are going to have some sorrow and some of us are going
yeah,
to have some tribulation. But the fact of the matter is, we are living in a time that has nothing but hope. As long as you've got your compass pointed the right direction, you have your groups, your family, your God, all those things, you are fine.
yeah. Hey, Gizno, good evening to you. And guys, if I missed somebody, I totally apologize.
Yeah, we're tired.
Yeah, Casey Goatman says my Wi-Fi is trying to quit on me. It might be my Wi-Fi too, guys. We're kind of in the middle of nowhere.
Right on
And
the water.
right, and we have someone who's in a cabin next to us who's running around with tinfoil and antennas trying to keep us going, and she's probably causing the trouble. What
I
do you
will.
think? You think Faith is causing the
You
trouble?
know what? We can blame her
Let's blame her.
just because we have nothing else to blame.
Yeah, let's blame her.
Yep.
Hey, Big B, what's up? Long time no see. Get that? Hey, I don't feel bad, big kid. I have been on the sites looking for something around me, and there isn't. I'm actually going to talk a lot about this, Skanes girl. About I get emails all the time where people say, "How did you find community? How do you actually do it?" I'm going to actually spell out how I actually did it in my speech tomorrow. And you can absolutely do it. The challenge is that you have to. I'm going to give you two. For anybody out there trying to build community, I want to give you two pieces of advice. And if you remember anything I ever say about community, it's these two. One, each clan, so each family has to have sovereignty.
Yes.
Right? Super, super critical. And the other one is you have to be intentional. If
Yes.
you're going to sit around on your hands or you're just going to wave at somebody when you walk by, you're never going to build a community. If you're not willing to grab that chicken feed and help them load it in their trunk, or you're not willing to go those extra steps, you'll just absolutely never find it.
You have to find the correct balance. What did we say earlier? There's a balance between community and OPSEC. And if you only focus on the OPSEC,
Yeah,
you're never going to have a
right.
community. And if
That's
you
right.
only focus on community, you're going to be so open that you're vulnerable.
Yeah.
You have to find the balance.
Yeah. Faith says, "What? Don't make me come kick your ass."
Bring it. I survived Jihad Day. I can survive you.
That's right. We survived the
Hold
global jihad.
hold on. Now you know I'm serious. I'm looking down my brim at you.
Yeah. Maybe just put those tinfoil hats. Says Heidi. They may help. They might. We need something. I don't know. It could, like I said, it could very well be me. No, Goatman says he just got bad ones. He don't think it's me. Okay, Skanes girl says, "Come on." Oh, where is she? Come on. You know me. I talk to everybody. Yes, but it's not enough just to talk. You have to have a concerted plan.
Yep. You don't try to find community. You have to build it.
You have to build it.
You have to build it yourself. Don't wait on someone else to build it, and then you can attach your
Yeah.
horse to that wagon. You create the wagon. You make it where other people want to attach to you.
Yeah. Yeah. When I talk about being intentional, Skanes girl, what I'm really talking about is just like, and I'm going to talk about this tomorrow and Sunday in my speech a little bit. Why do you weed the garden? Why do you do it? It's because you want the outcome, right? You want the harvest. Well, community is no different. You have to schedule it. You have to plan it. It has to be part of your normal life that you're going to go out and work on it. There's a lot of ways to do it. There's a lot of things around us that allow us, and we're going to strike out a lot. But you have to be intentional. You have to get out there all the time, and you got to be able to put yourself out there. Um, I have no idea where I'm even at. Let me see here. Alan said,
That looks good.
"Okay, yeah. Anyway, that's my struggle in the Wichita area too, finding community. Working on it though. Yeah, and Alan, but I'll help. Like I said, I've been through it already, and I'm getting better at it all the time. Right, our community's growing by leaps and bounds, but it's certainly hard. There you go. Heidi's such a smart lady.
Second
Good.
Thessalonians 3:10. For even when we were with you, this we commanded you, that if any would not work, neither should they eat. That was a verse that was actually quoted by people at Jamestown, the original um, uh, colony in the United States before the colonies, right? When they first showed up, they tried a very socialist system where everybody would get equal portions every night, and it didn't work. What they found was the people who were lazy and didn't want to work just wouldn't, because they knew they were going to get an equal portion to everybody else. And it wasn't until they adopted essentially free market principles that required you to actually put in that
Mhm.
Jamestown saved themselves from starvation. And that verse, if I remember right, was chiseled on a board above their town hall when they decided to make the switch from socialism, or what it wasn't called that then, but a socialistic style of governance to more of a free market system.
Mike and Jen want to know if there's a wagon.
For you, yes.
That's his way of saying he has no idea what you're talking about.
No, because I said hitch your horse to the wagon. I think
Oh,
I think
okay,
they're
got it, got
responding
it,
to me.
got it,
Yeah.
got it. Oh, there he is. There's a badass. So the Flatland Fanatic is who we
There
were
he
talking
is.
about.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
I loved his story.
Yep.
You know, we talked about it on the last live. Anybody who's not subscribed to his channel, go subscribe
Yep.
and listen to his story. It's pretty and I know he won't mind me talking about it because well, he posted it all. You
Yeah.
know,
Yep.
but when you have a lot when you lose your spouse and you've lived this life for a long time, you kind of lose your purpose, and that becomes, you know, super, super difficult. So it's been I'm sad for him that he had to go through it, but it's also been empowering for me to watch and to learn how he's gone through it. Flatland, we're super happy you're here, bud.
Yeah, I went when I found out who he was, and I found out who he was by pure accident. I didn't have a chance to go talk to him yet, and Patrick came up to me and goes, "Hey, Spag, see that truck over there?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Just go walk around it." I said, "Okay." So I go and I'm looking. I'm like, "Well, that's a pretty cool setup." You know, he had his apocalypse rig there on the back of the truck, and then I go around and there's a Spags Unfiltered sticker on his window, and I'm like, "Oh, that's why he sent me over here." And then I actually got to meet him. So I've gone and started watching his videos from the beginning.
Yep. Um, answer, talk to Big Kid.
Big Kid, believe it or not, there are quite a lot of homesteads around this area. Most of them talk too much, too freely for my taste. What I will say to that is I totally understand the concept of OPSEC, Army 16 years, Mercenary 3, Contractor 4. I worked for Congress for 8 years. But honestly, most people take it too seriously. The fact of the matter is, what in the hell do you have to hide?
Mhm.
And who are we to think they're coming for us? We're just a tiny blip. You have to form community based on openness. And while I'll never tell maybe even Tag, who I'm
Mhm.
great friends with, he doesn't know how many bullets I have. He doesn't know how many band-aids I have. He doesn't even know where I have them, but he knows I do have them, and he
Mhm.
knows that if he needs them, he's welcome to them. So I understand the whole loose lip sink ships thing, but we have to really find that balance between the OPSEC and the community
Mhm.
because no community ever survived when everybody stayed to themselves in their own homes and never interacted with their neighbors or their people around them.
Yeah. Hey, Mr. Rain, how are you, bud? Long time no talk. Yeah, I think I would echo that too, that you got to be willing to take a little bit of risk. I mean, you know, there are things on the channel. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but there's parts of my land, parts of my house I've never filmed
Yep.
because there's just an OPSEC issue there. But there's got to be some middle ground somewhere.
Right.
If you just sit back and wait in your home because you're hiding, because you're waiting to be put on some list, because you're nervous of those things, you just got to get rid of the idea that you're going to do it with community because you're just never going to get there. It's too hard, in
Yep.
my opinion, you know?
I feel like OPSEC has become the new buzzword.
Yeah.
OPSEC has become what Illuminati used to be, right? Like in the early days when we were all just preppers and stacking beans and bullets, we talked about the Illuminati,
Mhm.
the New World Order, the aliens, the pyramids, the Masons, whatever you wanted to talk about, right?
Mhm.
But eventually what that became was a story that you could use as an excuse to
Mhm.
justify inaction.
Yeah.
And I think OPSEC has become that. It is the excuse that preppers and homesteaders use today to justify inaction. Well, I can't do that because OPSEC. I can't say that because OPSEC. I can't go to that prepper meeting because OPSEC. I can't go to this festival because OPSEC. And you're missing the whole world out of the fear you've created for yourself to justify your inaction.
Mm.
Probably not. I was in the army. I don't have brains.
Life Mike Jen said, I think it's more the zombies and the ones who think they're Billy Badass.
Right.
Again, why you need community. You know, if you guys have a community of good, solid people, a good circle of them, and you get one bad egg, they won't make it long because you got the you got the strong circle.
Correct.
You know, so I don't worry about those a lot. Maybe I should. Arthur says, why is it frowned on to have a state militia?
Under the Reagan administration, and I am going to crush you conservatives in your wet dreams about Ronald Reagan. Under Reagan, we had what was formed as known as the Council of Governors. Kansas, my state, was on the Council of Governors, and my state has strict anti-militia laws. And it's because to be a state on the Council of Governors, which was a bill of sale that was sold to the United States as a way to confront communism, you had to do away with privatized militias, and the militia became the state National Guard. It's when the National Guard was given a lot more combat gear than it was previously from the federal government, from the federal army and the federal Marines and Air Force and all of that. The Council of Governors that came out of the Reagan administration destroyed state militias in a lot of states because the states who wanted to apply for the Council of Governors had to do away with privatized militias. Good job, neocon conservatives.
Well, I think I would add another thing, which is an armed populace is a polite populace. And the only credible threat the powers that be have is the armed populace.
Yep.
And so they don't want them because it's a threat to their power. They just want to tell you what to do and they want you to be a slave.
Yep.
Right. I mean, and so they're going to do anything they can. You know, if it wasn't for that pesky Second Amendment, it'd already be done.
Right.
You know, sorry guys, I miss a lot of them, but they just fly by. Tags has been busy missing the show. Glad to be able to make it though. Mr. Ray, let me tell you something, bud. I live it every day. I get it, man. It is busy, busy, busy all the time. Rain says, I was afraid to start my channel because of OPSEC, but decided it was far more important to teach what I have learned to help others on this path and trust God for protection. Amen.
Right on.
Yep. Amen. I don't think you can say that better. Plus, the other thing, guys, if there's ever going to be a time to stand up, tell me when it is.
Right. Right.
I mean, the days of hiding are over for me. They took everything from me already. You know, so I think it's time we stand up and practice peaceful civil disobedience. You guys have heard me talk about this a lot, and it's okay to say no.
Yep. That was a complete sentence. I
It's
believe
a
I've heard you
complete
say,
you heard me
Mr.
say that.
Tag.
You heard me say that many, many, many a times. Mike and Jen said, yes, sir. Exactly. Mike and I have been visiting and revisiting our trip the last few days. Yeah, we had a great time. You guys were so much fun. And I'll never forget Junior's face. We have a buddy of ours who's a mechanic, and he came up. Mike had a broken lug or whatever. And anyway, he came up and fixed it. But his little boy, Mike, let him drive that thing by himself.
Oh, nice.
Oh, you should have seen the grin, man.
Damn, that's like some Gen
I mean,
X stuff.
he was grinning so much you could see the teeth in his ears.
Nice.
You know, I mean, it was completely badass. Yeah, let me see here. I don't care either. I don't think they'll come for me. Yep, I'll leave the rest of that statement. I won't say it.
But I'll like it.
Yeah.
Hashtag me too.
You see, Midwest Ribeye says, I live in a city, and if I see a large garden or fruit trees, I stop and tell the owners how beautiful they look. And if they have extra produce and want to barter, to give me a call.
Badass.
Yep. Perfect. That's a great way to build right there.
Yes.
You don't have to, guys, walk up to somebody and go, hey, I'm a prepper.
Right.
I've got 2 years worth of food and 100,000 rounds of ammunition and a 9mm and a 40 caliber and a 50 caliber and a 308 and 30-06 and an AR-15. I really like AK-47s. And don't forget my shotguns. They're going to think you're fucking weird.
That sounds like the rhyme you want to come up with this weekend. Jeez. That might be a whiter rap than what Skane's Girl and Yoda did.
Yeah, you know, guys, what I do when I want to meet somebody, and you guys know I'm not shy at all. But if I go to Tractor Supply and I'm walking in and I see somebody loading 10 bags of chicken food in the back of their truck, I go help them load it. How you doing, man? What's going on? And I just start a conversation. Some work out, some don't. I have sat and leaned on a tailgate for an hour and a half talking to someone I just met.
Yep.
Then pretty soon I know they're a farmer and I know what township they live in my county.
Yep.
I know which members of our community would be their neighbors.
Yep.
Oh, by the way, do you know Pete? Well, I do know Pete. Oh, well, Pete and I hang out all the time.
Bam.
That's all it is,
And
guys.
now you're in.
You got to be intentional. I'm going to talk a lot about this.
You have to be vulnerable.
Yep. And you have to be willing to be vulnerable a little bit. Oh, my goodness. Let me see here. Bear Independent says now is the time to stand up. Yeah, it's past time. We've allowed this. This is our fault. You know, it's funny. We were at the Midwest Preparedness Project. I don't know if you remember this or not, but I was doing the Freedom Panel, and a question came up: are we getting what we deserve?
Yes.
Remember this question?
I do remember this question.
And was asking the Freedom Panel if our level of freedom, do we have what we deserve? And it was interesting. I don't remember what everyone's answer was, but what I told them is we get exactly what we deserve because we've allowed it to get here. You know, so it's time we own this. Let me see here. Big B says the libs are looking for a way out, prepping and self-sufficient, seeking time to teach knowledge is. Yeah. See, I always offer to divide my perennials if they want flowers. I found 2 like-minded friends doing this. See, it's simple. You don't have to go in there breaking OPSEC.
Right. We have far more things in common than we have that separate us. And you'll find that even in places like the Midwest Preparedness Project and these others, not everybody is religiously or politically aligned.
Yeah.
But we're aligned just close enough that you can find that one bridge that crosses that gap in geography in our personalities. And that's all it takes to find. And then all of a sudden the other things kind of melt away.
Yep. Sue says, if we're always in fear, are we free?
No.
See, that's a big statement, I think.
Yep.
You know, guys, I've got some really good friends of mine. You guys know I've talked about him a lot, Mo Engineer,
Mhm.
who's been on my channel a million times. Him and I disagree on so many points, but there are so many things that unite us. We stay great friends.
Yep.
And you know, it's okay to disagree sometimes. Mike, Life and Jen say, yeah, he had smiles for days. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. Junior was the driver. He was awesome. And I don't think he'll ever forget that. Oh my goodness. Sorry guys. I've missed so many.
Oh my God, it's coming out like a belt fed machine gun.
Yeah. It's good, man.
It's
It's good.
it's the comment Uzis.
Who of y'all have prepping channels? I've got a bad farm channel if anyone's interested. So yeah,
Put it up there.
yeah. So he won't. Well, he won't because he's not a mod. He can't put it up there. But what is it, bud? Type it in there, and then one of you mods put the link in there for us if you would please, and we'll go check it out. KY Go, man. Let's do it.
Yep.
Yep. I don't put anything past the powers that be. You know, you shouldn't. But here's the thing, guys. How empowering it is for me to know I don't need them.
Yep. That's the one thing I will put past them is competency. We do not need them.
We don't just ignore them. Shit. It ain't that hard, you know.
Badges. We don't need no stinking badges.
Yeah. Here's my buddy Ghetto. There's a guy that came from a whole bunch of tribulation, turned his life around.
I watched your live with Ghetto.
Yeah.
That was a cool live.
Yeah, he's a badass.
It departed from the norm. You know,
Yeah.
it was a completely different interview.
Yep.
Ghetto, your story is pretty badass, dude.
Yeah. He says that's pretty good fort you guys are in. Where are you streaming from? We're streaming from Camden, Tennessee. Ghetto, both of us have work to do with the Self-Reliance Festival tomorrow and Sunday. I'm speaking one day, and Spags is pretty much working the whole day. It looks like I got the better deal.
Yeah, we also get paid more, so that's okay.
Yeah.
I know my place.
Depends on the day.
Yep. Jules put up the link to that guy's channel. It looks
Oh,
like
did she? Okay, let me see if I can find it here.
Kentucky
there.
Goat Man.
There we go. There you go.
Check out that link, folks.
Yeah, there you go. Check that out.
Could very well be the next cog in
Yep.
the community.
The beautiful MJ from Wisconsin is in the house. Pretty cool. Florida Mama Bear, thank you so much. Oh, missed it. I go to click one and another one comes and I miss it. Thank you for that.
Illuminati confirmed.
There's another one. Look at that. Cool. See, mods are so awesome. This is totally awesome. All right, what's life? Microgen say we had a wonderful time meeting new friends and actually seeing community support in action. People came out of the woodwork to help us from the buggy to the auction. Oh, I got to talk about the auction.
Oh, so yeah. I haven't heard the story
So
yet.
I got to take Mike to the auction.
Okay.
And he's used to big city auctions of cars where everyone's a shark.
Yeah.
And then he goes to this podunk farm auction where everyone's leaning and spitting tobacco and it's mellow and it's nobody's fighting over anything and so we had a good time and I did for a long time didn't think he was going to buy anything. He was just kind of watching, and then pretty soon he got into the buying motion and bought a heater for $5, a big kerosene torpedo heater for $5 that awesome. Works.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's worth $5.
Yeah, but it's funny how those auctions are really a social event.
Yes.
We hang out and there were so many of our community members there walking around, 20 maybe, that were buying stuff and auctioning it. And Jonathan had a great time, and Jeremy, one step closer, was there.
Yeah.
And he had never seen anything like it. And so he's like, I could have taken home so many things. But it was super, super cool.
There's always next time.
Yeah, super, super cool. Let me see here. I'm terrible at editing. I mostly make shorts and unedited. Guys, this is the thing. Don't worry about all that. Be sincere. Be sincere. That's all I got to do.
If you ever wander onto my channel, you'll realize I'm a one-take wonder. I don't edit. All I do is put a little bit of music at one end and an exit, and I put credits at the end. I don't edit nothing.
Yeah. Karen says, my first live. Well, hey, welcome to your first live. Don't usually have time, but it rained all day, so no work outside today. Yep, I relate to that. Let me see here. Yeah, John says, you mean the heater I bought for him? Yeah, so, yeah, right here. So I got to tell you the whole story. So we were getting ready to leave because we wanted to get out to the Preparedness Project. And Jonathan was still there. So Mike told Jonathan, hey, bid up to, and I think it was $30, $40, I don't remember. Bid up to this. I'm interested in this. And Jonathan got it bought for $5. So under full disclosure, badass Jonathan. That's the real story. Yeah. Let me see here. Tag, they have officially started cleaning to build the solar farm on 3 sides of my place. I would not want to be there. I would not.
They are going to try to eminent domain you at some point, man. You better start really preparing for that.
Yeah.
They're going to claim something on your property as easement, something. Solar
Let me
farms.
see. Oh, Jules, I can't function like this on a live laugh out loud, but I know tag will kill my Wi-Fi if I get out the computer. Just like that, it's gone.
Bring it.
Yeah, right. Let me see here. Talking to Big Kid, are you going to get the contract to clean all those panels? Be a great homestead biz. That's true.
Yeah.
I'd want out of there. KY Goatman says, problems, I'm super awkward, but oh well, I'll get better. But you'll get better with every single one of them.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, just talk to them like you talk to your buddies. Just be sincere. I'm telling you, that is all it is. There's nothing more. People want to see real.
Yep.
I try to edit my videos, yet sometimes I simply do not have the time. What you get's authentic. Yeah,
That's all that matters.
that is all that matters.
I hate overly produced stuff.
Yeah.
Like all these prepper and survival shows that come on
Yeah.
TV, and you see like the 2-second commercial, and you're like, that might be cool. And then you watch it for the first time, and you get 30 seconds in, and you're like, this is so overly produced, and you turn the channel to something else. It's gross.
Yeah.
Be authentic. Be authentic.
Yeah, just be authentic. It's easy. Well, hey, you and I wanted to. It's been an hour,
Oh
and
my.
yeah, and I'm gonna be to bed soon. But before we go, we wanted to talk a little bit about, Bobby and I talk a lot about how things are positive. You heard us said this a few times that we're gonna go through history and we're gonna experience some things that are historic,
Yes.
and we get to live part of it, and we get to be leaders in this movement. We get to really impact, other people, and so Bobby and I have been having discussions about the resurgence.
The resurgence.
Right? And
Yeah.
he's corrected me on my language because I used the word rise, but the resurgence of the American male. You guys seen, I put out a video not long ago about it was all his fault. And that video talked about how men have abandoned their families, and they have to a large scale. Not all. There's some great men out there, guys. Wonderful men. But have generally, and so talk about your theory about why do you think the American male is coming back?
I think what happened 3 years ago, regardless of which theory you ascribe to, woke a lot of people up. And I think when we saw the mask get pulled off of the mainstream media, the politicians, the banks, corporate America, all of it, that we started to realize as a society, in some way, collectively, that we've been lied to, we've been sold a false bill of sale. And I have seen ridiculous amounts of examples of how the man in America is finally coming back. That it's okay to be masculine. It's okay to be a man. It's okay to be the Neanderthal that drags your knuckles a little bit to get the hard work done. Because if it's not us, no one's going to do it. And we were sold a false bill of sales when it came to the two income household back in the 80s when that first when the embargo happened and all of a sudden the economy sank and now the mom had to leave the house. We were sold this bill of sale that it's better that way. And what we've learned is that now what that means is the government can tax everybody, not just half of us. And I think what we've seen through the struggles of all three phases of feminism, postmodernism, liberalism, neoconservatism, and now what we see as the uniparty in Washington, what we're noticing is that there's really not that many real men left. And so those of us who have been in the shadows for a long time are finally emerging as the men we're supposed to be. We're realizing that we have to fix ourselves. We have to fix everything about what it means to be a man, and we have to pull the nonsense that led to the overreaction. When you said it was our fault to begin with, right? Men did some really bad stuff. In a lot of ways, societally, we have to learn to pull that toxicity out of what we are and embrace the fact that being a strong, assertive, leading man is okay. And we're seeing that reemergence of the American man that I think is all the hope we need, at least from the temporal level, of why we're going to drive through WW3 and the great global day of jihad, and we will be just fine on the other side.
Yeah, I think I would add to that point from the side of the female that what you get in the end is the same thing. We've taken away what makes a woman so great.
Yes.
It used to be she was a queen that was to be worshipped and to be put on a pedestal, right?
Right.
And we've stripped that too. And I think I like to think back to the movie The Patriot with Mel Gibson.
Yes.
And when he was sitting in that hall and they were talking about going to war, he's like, I'm not voting for war.
Yep.
And he wasn't voting because he knew what it was.
Right. He'd lived it.
He had lived it. And he said, this war will be fought on our steps. It will be fought right here. But there came a time for him where he had no more, he felt he had nothing left to lose,
Yeah.
that all the pressure had come down as this world crumbles around us, as it, erodes around us, both to Ghetto's point, of the nuclear family, but also from a finance perspective, from a, now you wouldn't even own anything anymore,
Right.
right? Maybe miss your taxes and see how much you own anything,
Right.
right? I think at some point people are going to stand up and say enough. And I think men are natural born rebels
Yes.
to a large degree. And I think we're going to see some of that stuff come out. So I'm actually excited.
Yep. And to be honest, the women have to have something to look up to. And if we don't fulfill that need for them,
Mhm.
then we don't get our needs met.
Mhm.
It's a cyclical thing.
Yes.
Look, men are ego driven creatures, women are not ego driven creatures, which is why we mesh together so well because we each have different needs and those needs are separate
Yeah.
and equal at the same time. And so, for the man to be seen as the head of the home, he has to earn that right,
Mhm.
which is supposed to happen during the courtship phase, right? The dating phase. We rush into this marriage thing so quickly
Yeah.
today, which is why they end so quickly in divorce because the man is no longer and has not for decades not been required to earn the respect of head of house,
Mhm.
and the woman has not had to earn the respect to be the queen of the house, right? And if the man is the head of the house, the woman is the neck, and the head turns in the direction that the neck tells it to turn. It's a symbiotic relationship where it's equals. It's not about subservience or about dominance or any of that nonsensical shit that we had maybe in times past, but we have to look at it from the new perspective that the team can only function if both provide for the other what they're lacking, and you can only do that by submitting to each other.
Yes. Rain says, get mom out of the house. Kids get raised in the government training camps. Parents have no say in the raising of their children. Respect for the husband is lost, just to name a few.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I wanted to point out another comment in here that just to make sure we're clear. Sue says some of us women are natural born rebels too. Well, of course.
Of course, why wouldn't you be?
Yeah, and I think, I married a natural born rebel, and she pushes me every day. She pushes me to be better. She pushes me to work harder. She pushes me, all of those things. And, we certainly need this. I wasn't saying girls weren't.
No, no. No, but there's a proclivity, right? Like it guys have to have a certain level of rebellious stupidity in order to walk out on that girder and rivet the Empire
Mhm.
State Building into
Mhm.
existence. We have to be willing to take our shovel and pause from digging the Panama Canal to swat the malaria carrying mosquitoes away.
Mhm.
And that's typically a male trait. And we have to be like that to do it. And we can only do it if we earn the women's respect to support us to do it. It doesn't work any other way.
Mhm. Here's an interesting one. Why'd you tackle that one?
It will take all types of men to make it through this. The alphas, betas, deltas, gammas, and sigmas. Which archetype are the two of you? I will say that out of the six archetypes of men, only four are needed. The bottom two are not needed. The bottom two are the ones that absolutely led us to the app, and I'm going to say it, fuck pie that we're in today. What we have to do is find a way to reduce the weakness of the bottom two archetypes to promote the top four. And out of those, quite honestly, if you study what the six archetypes of males are, the alpha male is actually very dangerous. The alpha male has all the tendencies for megalomaniacs, for ego driven, being bad guys, being all that stuff that we talked about at the beginning of the live. I would consider myself a sigma male with beta tendencies. And a beta male has actually become this curse word in modern society, and that's not very true. What a beta male is, if you study the six archetypes, they are strong men too, but they attach themselves generally to stronger men, right? They're not necessarily given to be the top of the pyramid. They're not the alphas. They're not the ones that lead the charge, right? Think of it from a military perspective. Your alpha male is going to be your battlefield commander. Your sigma male with beta tendencies could be your platoon sergeant, your squad leader. They're going to be your non-commissioned officers. Without them, the alpha cannot rise and defeat the enemy on the battlefield. But without the alpha to lead those sigmas with beta tendencies, you don't have completion of the unit. You don't have totality. And so I would consider myself a sigma male with beta tendencies.
What would you think I am?
You are a sigma male with alpha tendencies.
Well, Spags said it.
Yep. No, look, I will admit the beta tendency in me is to attach myself to strong men because I like to be led by a strong man so I can learn. When you brought me on the way you did,
Hmm.
I consider myself attached to you in that way. I consider myself attached to other strong men in that
Mhm.
way. Uh, the people that I really admired in the army were
Mhm.
stronger men than I. They were in a higher position, but I attached myself and I learned from them. That's what it means.
Yeah, I'm capable of leading. I have it in me. I just prefer not to.
Well, a real leader won't want to lead.
I would prefer just to
Well, let me take that
find a
back.
good leader.
I actually don't believe that. A real leader will not want to be in charge.
Hmm.
A real leader will lead when he's called to lead. A real
Yeah.
leader will come out of the woodwork and do what he knows he can because he's not going to deny his birthright. But at the same point, a real leader does not want to be in charge.
Yeah, it says we are called upon to love our wives like God loves the church. Wives are to be honored and cared for. Our spouses are meant to fill the gaps, which I think is super well said right
Yep.
there, in our own lives and personalities and us in theirs. Yeah, TJ in Georgia said, I like this one too. Hard to fake respect when you don't feel it.
Yes.
100%. You know, I tell people all the time, and I get a lot of flack about this, TJ, but I tell people all the time that love is the easiest of all things. And they look at me like, what? True love is the easiest of all things. It is not hard for me to do the things that makes my wife happy because it's important to me for her to be happy.
Correct.
It's just not hard.
Faith kind of touches on this where she says the alpha male bro culture is offensive. I absolutely agree. In my opinion, it was the alpha male bro culture that led to feminism in the first place. When the guy was working in the city and his wife was at home raising the kids, and he disrespected her, got an apartment in the city, and was banging all of his secretaries on the sly because it was a work trip. That's what led to the rebellion of feminism, and
Yeah.
that's what dethroned the true man from his position of power and authority in society. We have to get back to where, yeah, I completely agree that the alpha male bro code, the whole bros before host thing, I find to be stupid.
Yeah.
Absolutely stupid.
Mike and Jen said right there, show strength, Bobby. And I agree with that. I absolutely 100% agree with that. Hey, Neethi the pharmacist. Oops.
Hey, Neethi.
I got it right there. Neethi the pharmacist is in the house. There's a badass woman right there. You know, and she fought. You know, I love warriors, and Neethi's a warrior. For any of you guys who don't know, go to Neethi the pharmacist YouTube page and
Yep.
listen to her story. You know, she's an absolute warrior, and someone who I look up to, and I can't wait, Neethi, to see you tomorrow as well.
Yep.
Faith said, I added obey back into our vows, and the husband strongly believes in cherishing his wife. It works well.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with any of that.
Yeah, and obedience doesn't mean servitude.
That's
It
correct.
just means that when the guy decides to make the choice, you, as the woman, have already selected a man that you're going to trust to make that choice. And so, therefore, you're willing to allow him to make the choice. It's symbiotic. That's all it means.
Yeah. Hey, Arthur says, well, I heard a real leader is a servant. I'm going to tell you, you cannot lead if you cannot serve.
Correct.
100% of the time. If you have to be the front one making all the decisions, you're a shitty leader.
Yep. Well, that's why I said a leader doesn't want to be in charge. Being in charge doesn't make you a leader. It makes you an alpha male and it makes you an asshole. And no one wants that.
Yep. There is Neethi's link right there. Hey, there we go. Look at that. Neethi says, hold the line. Yep. Skanes Girl says, I agree, Spags. Got so tired of dealing with massive egos. Who put me on last on the list?
Dude, we had such a conversation about ego on the way here. Ego is necessary for the male psyche. We have to have ego because ego is what propels us to do the dangerous things that require little thought, right? Like I said, Mariana Trench, laying the transatlantic cable, winning World War II, that comes from ego. But ego has to be kept in check because ego leads to megalomania, and megalomania is what leads to dangerous people.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's been good, guys. We're going to get off here. It's been an hour and 12 minutes, and we've been driving for 10 hours today.
I got to get this tactical gear
Yeah,
off. The day of jihad is over.
Well, I hope it's over.
I gotta strip down. Oh, okay.
Bobby, you got any parting advice before we leave tonight?
The holy trinity of prepping: faith, family, fellowship. You have a good crew of people, you know where your faith lies, and your fellowship with your fellow man is intact. You will be fine through WW3.
Yeah, and I think my parting words would be go yoke up, as American Roots says. You know, that community absolutely matters. And don't forget the two things that are important is sovereignty and being intentional. And if you guys go and do that, if you be intentional and you don't try to take someone's sovereignty away from them, you'll be able to build an amazing crew. So I guess until then, tag out.
Spags.
See you guys.
Out.
Good night, everybody.
See ya.